to Senator Francis Heyliger. I think, well, you came back on the screen. I can see you now. Senator Francis Heyliger.
Excellent. Good. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, testifiers. Good afternoon to the people of the territory. I wanted to ask my questions along the lines when it comes to prisoners here in the territory and career and technical education. Is there any robust programs or anything that is going to be developed specifically geared or could be partnering with our prison system to assist with preparation for returning into the community, rehabilitation? Are there any things in the works, or are there programs that already exist? Because I would really like to see a little bit more robust programming when it comes to that aspect. Could you share any of that information with me?
This is Dr. Francois. I know of no programs right now in the works for CT in those facilities. I know there were some previously. I'm not sure if they're still there. And I also know that UVI Cell is doing the high school program in those facilities.
Well, Dr. Francois, when you speak to knowing that there used to be, do you think that this is something pertinent that we need to be focused on? Or because, there are hundreds of young men and women locked up in our prison system. And what are your thoughts in regards to even rejuvenating a program like that or seeing the need for it in our community?
Oh, definitely. I think having people locked up and not giving them an opportunity to change their lives doesn't make sense. I think putting some sort of CTE program, upholstery, something in the prisons where these individuals could learn a skill, so when they come back out, they don't have to go back into doing the same thing they did previously is a very good idea.
Okay. I also wanted to ask in regards to difficulty in finding people to teach the Career and Technical Institute, because quite a bit of governmental agency has come before us and say, they're having a hard time finding people to work in the various agencies. Do you guys have the same problem, or are you, you're finding every handyman, cosmetologist? Do you have any issues in that regard?
As far as finding CTE instructors, especially with CTE instructors, it's kind of difficult because when you have a CTE trade or skills, you're basically an entrepreneur. You could own your own business, start your own business, and you could demand your salary. And what we're paying our teachers here just can't cover that.
So what are some solutions do you think that we as even legislators, even the government can do to potentially bring forward some more individuals that might be interested in the teaching aspect? Because I do see technical training, career training as very important to individuals here in this territory.
The board has looked at a few things, like I mentioned previously. One is hiring our instructors as part-time instructors, where they could go back to their business and only come in to teach. Another thing is to give those instructors, full-time instructors, some sort of bonus, like we do with the special education instructors, teachers, where we supplement their income that way. And the last thing is to just put them on a separate pay scale than our regular academia teachers.
Okay, Madam Chair, may I just ask one question in regard to the EMS certification program?
Sure, you may proceed, conclude.
Thank you. In Department of Health, in regard to the EMS certification program, has there been any type of robust marketing pushing to make sure that the students are aware that these things do exist and what can or cannot be done? How do we advertise and let students know that they could participate?
I'm going to refer that to Ms. Greenwich Payne. She actually goes into the educational process and conducts some of that work. So may I please ask you, Jacqueline, to respond to that question?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Jacqueline Greenwich Payne, Acting Territorial EMS Training Officer. territorial coordinator, training officer. And so in EMS, we have a program that's called Emergency Medical Services for Children. And with the Emergency Medical Services for Children, we go into the schools and we do CPR, we do first aid. We've been working with Dr. Bao in the Central High School. We go out every year into all of the other schools. We talk about health careers. We even go to the assist with the children with special needs and getting supplies and equipment for the hospitals and everybody to be able to take care of the children in the Virgin Islands. But one of the things we do is when we go there, we take a brochure, we market it, and we do have a ride-along program. So what's been happening is many of the kids who are interested, they're not at age, but if they're 15 and older, they can sign on for the ride-along program, and that's signed off by me as the lead for the trainer, and then it goes to HR. We also have a volunteer EMS program, and currently right now on St. Croix, we have 58 volunteers. And so mandatory by the department regulation to keep their skills up, even though they work for many other agencies out there. It's signed off by the commissioner, it's signed off by us, and what we do for them, because they volunteer and they fill in when we're short staffed, is we give them their education for free. We recertify them and make sure that they meet the national standards. I don't want to take up time, but I think this is important for you guys to know. When it comes to national registry, the territory, this has been 43 years of EMS in the Virgin Islands being nationally certified and nationally registered. And so we follow the national curriculum. There is a education agenda and education curriculum for the EMS program at every level, from the EMR, EMT, advanced EMT to paramedics. We even have the national user guide that guides us and tell us everything that we need to do within the curriculum, within the time, how we need to report to the state, what we need to report to the states, and the forms are in there. Every other agency that provides a class that's not being led by the Department of Health, they have to register with the state office. And what we've been doing is reviewing their curriculum, and making sure that we send out somebody when they're going to do skills testing, skills auditing, make sure they have all of the right equipment out there to do the job.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. And Madam Chair, I appreciate the additional time.
Thank you, Senator Francis Heyliger.
Heyliger, thank you for bringing yourself to my attention. I didn't see you there. So I will hold on that and recognize you, Senator Francis Heyliger, for your 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Once again, thank you to having my colleagues here, the people of the territory tuned in, as well as the testifiers. I, too, am 100% in support of Caribbean and Virgin Islands history as an individual born and raised in the Caribbean, specifically the Virgin Islands. I recognize how important it is for us to know who we are and from whence we came. I spent quite a bit of my elementary and high school education learning quite a bit about the United States and many other countries, and to understand and have an opportunity to learn more about where I came from, I think that's very important. Unfortunately, as we've all discussed, the education department is not here, and with them being charged with the implementation of this is a very, very key factor. And unfortunately, not being able to ask them questions leaves this piece of legislation for me out in the open. Ms. Jones, if I want to ask the question, if you had to just take this piece of legislation at face value, what would be the optimum way that you think would be the best suited to integrate? Because I am a supporter of integration, but I also am a supporter of courses at a specific time period. I can't say having 4 years is something necessary, because I recall back from me going to high school, graduating, I think I was only required to take, 2 years of math or 1 or 2 years of history. But for this one, how it's written, it seems like the individuals will have to take 4 years of history. I am more of maybe a course, which I am under the impression is already required, but also for integration. Could you tell me what you believe would be an optimal way of alternative of integrating this?
Yes, thank you, Senator, for that question. There's several things that could possibly be done. Possibly on the high school level, you could offer 2 courses of VI history and Caribbean history. Students, give them an option of taking one or the other, or they take both, or they continue to take the one VI history course. As far as integrating VI history, I think it's safe to say, and I'm just coming out of the classroom myself, I saw most of my colleagues integrating VI history and Caribbean history throughout the course of the school year. I saw it on in the social studies and history department. I saw it in the English department. I saw it in the art department. I saw it in music. So the kids were able to get it across curriculum just because teachers saw it as important and they implemented it. So I don't think that would be an issue as far as integration is concerned.
Okay. Madam Chair, may I ask my final question?
You may, Senator. You may.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. One of the things that I am in full support of is a lot of hands-on education. I find a lot of times that children learn quite a bit when they are directly in participating in the environment that you want them to learn about. How much do you think potentially should that be included in the educational process of these potential courses? Ms. Jones.
Would you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Basically, I wanted to know if these courses are going to be integrated or they have to take 1 or 2 courses, whatever the case is finally decided, how much percentage or what part of it do you think should be classroom setting versus being a part of the environment, going out and learning about Caribbean and Virgin Islands history? Or do you even think it should be a hybrid of the both?
It could possibly be both. I'm the type of person, I would instruct my class, have my classes, my students to do things. They remember more if they are actually involved in the process. So definitely bringing people in. Mr. Nielsen rattled off like wonderful names of people that are well-versed in VI history and Caribbean history. Bring those people into the classroom, take kids to them, sponsor TED Talks, have kids build things that are Virgin Islands. Even in CTE courses, kids could build stoves or things that we used to use decades ago or centuries ago. Incorporate things of that nature, art, create murals, have students or create statues, so on and so forth, to represent VI history, so on and so forth. There's so many things. The avenue is just wide open for so many things to take place. But just sitting in a classroom learning, memorizing names and learning things to rote, it's not going to work. You have to put it in a narrative and you have to get kids involved with the process. Just bring them in, so on and so forth. Yes.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, for the indulgence and the additional time, and thank testifiers for the responses.
You're welcome. Alma Francis Heyliger.
Thank you so much. From my point of information, I would like to place on the record, as I was listening to my colleagues speak as the potential adjustment of this piece of legislation to potentially change courses to integration, I am not in support of that. I believe that while we should have some integration, we should also keep it where there are some courses, whether on the elementary level, even on the high school level, but I cannot speak to all 4 years in high school, as the AFT has expressed might potentially be a problem. But I think we need to have both and not replacing one with the other. Thank you so much.
Thank you.